Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when you realize that the people who clap the loudest for you in public may be the first to doubt you in private. And sometimes, painfully, unexpectedly, the danger doesn't come from strangers outside your circle. It comes from the ones sitting at your own table. Be careful from your relatives. They are targeting you. This isn't a statement meant to create fear. It's a wake-up call to create power. It's about awareness, boundaries, strength, and the courage to build your future without allowing anyone, no matter how close, to sabotage your potential, because success has a strange way of exposing people's true intentions. Some will support you, some will envy you, and some will try to pull you back into the version of yourself that they are comfortable with. But you are not here to stay small. You are here to grow, to rise, to build, and to break every limitation placed on you, whether that limitation comes from outsiders or your own bloodline. Just because someone shares your last name doesn't mean they share your vision. Many times, the people closest to you are the ones who cannot accept your growth because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. They may love you, but they may also fear what you're becoming. Awareness isn't betrayal, it is wisdom. You are allowed to outgrow the expectations your relatives placed on you, and you're allowed to protect your energy as you rise. Your relatives might think they know what's best for you, but they don't live your life. They don't feel your dreams burning inside your chest. Sometimes they project their fears onto you. Don't try that. It's too risky. People like us don't achieve that. These phrases are not truths. They are chains. Break them. You don't need validation from someone who built their identity around limitation. Build your identity around possibility. Not everyone deserves access to your dreams. Some relatives listen just to criticize. Some pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail so they can feel comfortable again. Keep your vision tight, guarded, sacred. Share your plans with people who uplift you, not those who compete with you or diminish you. Your future is too important to place in the wrong hands. Betrayal from strangers hurts, but betrayal from relatives, it cuts differently. Yet hidden inside that pain is an extraordinary opportunity. The chance to rise stronger than ever. Use their criticism to sharpen your focus. Use their doubt as gasoline for your fire. Use their jealousy as proof that you're moving in the right direction. Greatness is born from resistance. Let nothing slow you down. You don't need to justify protecting your peace. You don't owe access to people who drain your energy, mock your dreams, or use emotional manipulation to control you. Boundaries are not walls. They are filters. They keep the negativity out and your purpose intact. You can love people from a distance. You can forgive without giving a second opportunity to hurt you. Your mental, emotional, and financial future depends on the strength of the lines you draw. Family is not defined only by blood. Family is defined by commitment, loyalty, honesty, and mutual growth. Surround yourself with people who want to see you win, people who challenge you, support you, celebrate you, and push you to your highest potential. You get to choose who walks with you into your future. And sometimes the strongest family you will ever have is the one you build, not the one you were born into. Ladies and gentlemen, your life is too precious, your future too powerful, and your destiny too important to let anyone, relative or not, derail you. Be aware, be wise, be strong, grow bravely, protect your purpose fiercely. And remember, you are not obligated to shrink so others can feel comfortable. Stand tall, rise higher, and let your success speak louder than their doubt. Not everyone who grows up with you is meant to grow with you. And this is one of the hardest truths to accept. We often assume that the people who shared our childhood, our memories, our struggles, and our beginnings will automatically share our vision for the future. But life doesn't work that way. Growth is a deeply personal journey. It requires courage, hunger, discomfort, discipline, and the willingness to step into the unknown. Not everyone around you is ready for that, and when you begin to change, evolve, and rise, it can trigger insecurities in those who are still standing in the same place. They may not understand your new mindset because it challenges their old beliefs. They may not celebrate your progress because your progress highlights their lack of it. And in many cases, they may feel threatened simply because you are becoming someone they never expected you to become. When you start dreaming bigger, thinking differently, or aiming higher, the people who once felt equal to you may suddenly feel inferior or unsettled. It's not always intentional. It's often subconscious. Human nature tends to resist change, and when someone close to us changes, it forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about our own potential, our own fears, and our own choices. Some relatives will genuinely support you, but others may subtly push you to stay the same, not because they don't care, but because your growth disrupts their comfort. They knew you as the person who laughed with them, struggled with them, and lived at their level. Seeing you rise above that level can create a sense of loss, jealousy, or confusion within them. This is why awareness is essential. You must understand that outgrowing certain relationships is not an act of betrayal. It is an act of personal evolution. If you remain tied to the expectations others placed on you growing up, you will never step into your full potential. People will try to remind you of who you used to be because it's easier for them to accept that version of you. They might say things like, "You've changed," as if it's a bad thing. But change is the very essence of growth. You are not here to repeat your past identity. You are here to continuously evolve into the strongest, most capable version of yourself. Relatives who aren't growing with you may try to minimize your ambitions, not because your dreams are impossible, but because they're uncomfortable with anything that challenges the status quo. They may discourage you from taking risks that they themselves were too afraid to take. They may question your confidence because they never learned how to claim their own. They may treat your progress as arrogance simply because they never found the courage to strive for more. But their perception of you is not your responsibility to fix. Your responsibility is to honor your calling, your goals, and your future. When you realize that not everyone around you is willing to grow, you begin to understand the importance of choosing your environment wisely. Growth loves the right environment. One that nurtures your dreams, not one that suffocates them. You must be willing to walk alone temporarily if it means walking toward a life that aligns with your purpose. Some people from your past simply don't belong in the next chapter of your life, not because they are bad, but because they are committed to staying the same while you are committed to becoming more. And the moment you accept that truth is the moment you free yourself to rise without guilt, without hesitation, and without the weight of others holding you back. Your relatives may have strong opinions about who you should be, what you should do, and how you should live, but their opinions do not define your path. This is a truth that many people struggle with for years, sometimes even decades. We grow up believing that family knows best, that their perspective is always superior, and that their expectations should guide our decisions. But at some point, you must recognize that the life you are living is yours, and the dreams you carry are planted inside you for a reason. When you begin to step into your own identity, when you start choosing differently, thinking bigger, and taking risks that others are too afraid to take, you will often face resistance from those closest to you. They will question your choices, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of habit, and sometimes out of their own insecurities. But none of these reactions are indicators of your capability or your destiny. Sometimes relatives project their limitations onto you without even realizing it. They speak based on what they were taught, what they've experienced, or what they're comfortable with. They might discourage you from pursuing something ambitious because they themselves never dared to chase something beyond survival or familiarity. Their opinions are shaped by their past, not your potential. They see life from their window, not yours. And when you start to think beyond the boundaries they've accepted, they may interpret your ambition as recklessness or your confidence as rebellion. But what they perceive is not a reflection of reality. It's a reflection of their own fears. You must learn to differentiate between advice rooted in love and advice rooted in limitation. Some relatives genuinely want to protect you, but protection can sometimes come at the cost of your growth. They might say, play it safe, when what you need is to take a leap. They might say, people like us don't do things like that, when in reality, people like you are capable of creating an entirely new path. You are not obligated to shrink your vision to match someone else's comfort zone. Their opinions should not hold more weight than your inner voice, the one that keeps whispering that you are meant for more. When you start pursuing your dreams, it's natural to seek validation, especially from family. But relying on their approval can become a trap that keeps you from acting. If you constantly wait for them to understand your dreams, you may wait your entire life. They might not understand your passion because the dream wasn't given to them, it was given to you. You don't need them to see what you see in order for it to be real. You don't need them to believe in your abilities for those abilities to exist. Your life cannot be dictated by opinions that were never meant to shape your destiny. The moment you allow someone's doubts to weigh heavier than your own belief is the moment you surrender control of your future. You must reclaim that control. You must decide that your dreams are valid even when others don't understand them. You must learn to trust yourself more than you trust the noise around you. Progress requires courage, and courage requires the strength to stand firm in your truth, even when people close to you question it. When you stop living to meet others' expectations, you begin living in alignment with your own purpose. You become more decisive, more confident, and more grounded. The world starts to open up because you're finally moving from a place of authenticity instead of fear. And eventually, the same people who doubted you may come to admire your strength, because while they were stuck in the limitations of their opinions, you were busy creating a life defined by your own vision. Not every dream is meant to be shared, and not every person is meant to be trusted with the deepest parts of your ambition. Protecting your goals like you protect your life is an essential discipline, because the wrong ears can distort your vision, drain your confidence, or quietly hope for your failure. When you start moving differently, when your goals become bigger, clearer, and more powerful, you'll notice that some people become uncomfortable, especially relatives who feel threatened, jealous, or insecure. They may not express it openly, but their reactions reveal everything: the dismissive tone, the subtle sarcasm, the discouraging comments disguised as or advice. This is why you must guard your dreams like something sacred. Many people make the mistake of sharing their goals too early, especially with those who aren't equipped to support them. You expect excitement, but you get criticism. You expect encouragement, but you get judgment. You expect curiosity, but you get comparisons. When someone close to you reacts with doubt or negativity, it doesn't necessarily reflect your capability. It reflects their own limited mindset. Most people only understand goals that fit inside their own imagination. When your dream is bigger than their belief system, they will try to shrink it down to a size they can comprehend. That doesn't make your dream too big. It makes their thinking too small. Some relatives listen to your plans not to support you, but to evaluate you. They measure your potential against their own fears, insecurities, or unfulfilled aspirations. When people see you aiming for something they never achieved, it can trigger resentment or envy. They may subtly undermine your confidence, either intentionally or unconsciously, because your courage exposes their lack of it. This is why you cannot casually hand your goals to people who haven't earned the right to hear them. Dreams are fragile in their early stages. They need protection, nurturing, and focus, not destructive opinions. Keeping your goals private doesn't make you secretive. It makes you strategic. It gives you space to work without interference, doubt, or emotional sabotage. When you protect your goals, you protect your mental clarity, you protect your motivation, you protect the momentum you're building. People cannot attack what they cannot see. Silence becomes a form of strength, and focus becomes your shield. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the vision that burns inside you, especially if that explanation becomes ammunition for them to judge or restrain you. It's also important to understand that some people only support you when you're not doing better than they are. As long as you remain predictable, manageable, or average, they cheer. But the moment you start pursuing something extraordinary, the tone changes. Their energy shifts. Their comments become sharper. Their interest becomes suspicious. They begin to question your choices, not out of concern, but out of discomfort. Protecting your goals means keeping your distance from these subtle dream killers. You must learn to share your dreams only with people who uplift your spirit, challenge you to grow, and believe in your potential even when the path isn't clear. These people are rare, which makes them invaluable. They celebrate your ambition without feeling threatened by it. They push you forward instead of pulling you down. They want to see you win, not because it benefits them, but because they genuinely care about your evolution. These are the people you allow into your inner circle. Your goals are the seeds of your future. They require the right environment, the right mindset, and the right protection to flourish. When you guard them, you give yourself the advantage of clarity and purpose. You maintain the freedom to build your dream without interference. And you ensure that your path is shaped by your own determination rather than the opinions of those who were never meant to carry the weight of your vision. Pain caused by relatives cuts deeper than pain caused by strangers because it carries history, trust, and emotional connection. When a stranger doubts you, it stings, but you can brush it off because they don't know your story. But when someone who shares your blood questions your dreams, mocks your progress, or tries to belittle your ambition, it hits a different part of your heart. It feels personal, it feels intimate, and it feels unfair. Yeah, hidden inside that pain is a powerful force that can transform your life if you choose to use it instead of collapsing under it. The disappointment you feel, the hurt you carry, the betrayal you never expected, these moments can either break you or remake you, and the choice is always yours. Every great achiever in history has experienced resistance from their own circle. Some were laughed at by family, some were told they weren't good enough, some were advised to stay small, and others were warned not to dream beyond what tradition allowed. But here is the truth. Greatness is often born from the very pain intended to stop you. When someone close to you doubts you, it forces you to build a stronger belief in yourself. When they underestimate you, it pushes you to rise above their expectations. When they try to make you feel small, it awakens a hunger to grow beyond anything they imagined. Pain becomes your teacher, your motivator, your fuel. If you allow it, the criticism and negativity you may face are not signs of your weakness, but signs of your strength. If you are not capable of something extraordinary, no one would feel threatened by your potential. People do not target what is insignificant, they target what is rising. Relatives who make hurtful comments often do so because your determination exposes their lack of it. Your growth challenges the narrative they built for themselves. Your evolution forces them to question their own choices. Instead of facing their internal battles, some choose to project that discomfort onto you. But their actions are not a reflection of your worth. They are reflections of their own unhealed wounds. You must learn to take that pain and redirect it with intention. Instead of letting their behavior discourage you, let it sharpen your focus. Let it strengthen your hunger to prove to yourself, not to them, that you are capable of achieving what you were born to do. Use their doubt as energy. Use their criticism as momentum. Every time they say you can't, hear the voice inside you saying you can. Every time they try to pull you back, let it become a reminder of why you must keep moving forward. Pain is one of the most powerful catalysts for growth because it strips away comfort, forces self-reflection, and ignites a part of you that refuses to settle. There is something transformative that happens when you stop wishing that people close to you would understand and start accepting that they may never see your vision. That acceptance liberates you. It allows you to pursue your dreams without emotional dependency. It allows you to rise without waiting for permission. It allows you to evolve without feeling guilty for leaving behind those who choose not to grow. Pain has a way of awakening your purpose, strengthening your resilience, and shaping your character. When relatives doubt you, let that doubt become a silent agreement between you and your destiny. You will not stop until you reach everything they said was impossible. What once hurt you can become what empowers you. What once discouraged you can become what drives you. And what once made you question yourself can become the very source of the strength that anchors you as you rise. Creating boundaries with the people who share your blood is one of the most difficult decisions you will ever make because it goes against what society teaches you from the beginning. You're told that family should always come first, that you must tolerate their behavior, their words, and their expectations simply because of the relationship you share. But as you grow, you begin to understand that peace has no price, and your future cannot be built on the foundation of someone else's emotional demands. Boundaries are not acts of rebellion. They are acts of self-respect. They are not punishments. They are protections. They are the invisible lines that separate your growth from their negativity, your identity from their projections, and your purpose from their limitations. When you start protecting your peace, people who benefited from your lack of boundaries will be the first to complain. They may call you selfish, distant, ungrateful, or dramatic. They may accuse you of changing, and they will say it in a way that makes you question your own intentions. But the truth is, you are not becoming selfish. You are becoming aware. You are not pushing people away. You are protecting yourself from environments that drain you. You are not changing for the worse. You are evolving into someone who can no longer tolerate emotional manipulation, toxic behavior, or the constant pressure to live according to someone else's comfort. Some relatives use emotional closeness as a way to influence your decisions. They guilt trip you, shame you, or remind you of everything they did for you, not out of love, but as leverage to keep you compliant. They want access to your life, your time, your energy, and your mind, even if that access destroys your mental well-being. Boundaries become necessary when people cross lines they should never have crossed in the first place. Setting limits doesn't mean you love them any less. It means you love yourself enough to stop allowing people, family or not, to control your emotional state. Boundaries are about choosing what you will tolerate and what you will no longer accept. It's saying, I love you, but I refuse to let you speak to me that way. It's saying, I respect you, but I won't let your negativity dictate my decisions. It's saying, I care, but I will not sacrifice my sanity for your comfort. You have the right to distance yourself from people who consistently drain your energy. Whether they share your DNA or not, you don't need a dramatic confrontation. You don't need to explain every detail. You can simply reduce your availability, protect your privacy, and control what parts of your life they have access to. As you grow, you learn that not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Some people have proven through their actions that they cannot handle access to your dreams, your vulnerabilities, or your progress. Boundaries help you create emotional clarity. They give you the space to breathe, think, and grow without interference. They allow you to focus on your goals instead of managing other people's expectations. They remind you that your life is your responsibility, not a stage for anyone else's drama. And most importantly, boundaries teach people how to treat you. If you allow disrespect, it will continue. If you allow manipulation, it will grow. If you allow emotional chaos, it will consume your life. But when you begin to implement healthy limits, you shift the power back to where it belongs within yourself. Some relatives will adapt, others will fall away. But either way, you will be protecting the most important relationship you will ever have, the relationship with yourself. Boundaries are not a betrayal of your family. They are a commitment to your own future, your peace, and your purpose. Family is not defined only by the people you were born to. Family is defined by the people who walk with you, support you, uplift you, and grow with you. As you evolve, you begin to understand that loyalty is not guaranteed by blood and love is not proven by DNA. Some of the most damaging experiences can come from relatives, while some of the most powerful support can come from strangers who become your chosen family. Building a family from those who believe in your rise means surrounding yourself with individuals who see the greatness in you even when you are struggling to see it yourself. It means choosing people whose presence fuels your growth instead of draining your spirit. Not everyone you grew up with is meant to walk with you into your future. And that realization is one of the most liberating truths you will ever embrace. People who truly belong in your life are those who celebrate your wins without comparison, who challenge you without belittling you, and who want to see you evolve because your growth inspires them rather than threatens them. When you share your dreams with these kinds of people, they don't respond with doubt. They respond with vision. They don't ask, would you do that? They ask, how can I support you? They don't impose limitations. They help you expand possibilities. Surrounding yourself with such individuals creates an environment where you can thrive, where your ambition is not mocked but magnified, and where your purpose is not interrupted but intensified. When relatives become obstacles instead of allies, you must give yourself permission to redefine what family means to you. Family is ultimately about alignment. It's about shared values, mutual respect, emotional safety, and a collective belief in each other's potential. Some people may have known you for years but never truly supported you, while others might enter your life briefly and change it in profound ways. The length of time someone has been in your life does not determine the depth of their loyalty. Support is shown through actions, not family labels. The people who belong in your future are those who nurture your strengths, challenge your excuses, and remind you of who you are when doubt clouds your vision. A chosen family brings balance to your life. They offer perspective when you feel lost, encouragement when you feel defeated, And honesty when you need clarity. They provide a safe space to be vulnerable, ambitious, flawed, and human without judgment or jealousy. They push you to grow because they are growing too. They dream big not only for themselves, but for you as well. They see your potential not as a threat, but as a shared victory. Having people like this around you accelerates your growth in ways you cannot achieve alone. Creating this kind of family requires courage. It requires letting go of the expectation that your relatives should automatically be your primary source of support. It requires accepting that some people close to you may never understand your purpose, and that's okay. You don't need their understanding. You need alignment with people who elevate your mindset. This chosen family may be mentors, friends, partners, teammates, creators, believers, people who resonate with the journey you're on and the dreams you're chasing. These are the individuals who help shape the person you are becoming. You are not obligated to keep anyone in your life who diminishes your energy, dismisses your dreams, or discourages your growth. Family is earned through presence. Loyalty, respect, and love, not simply inherited. When you surround yourself with the right people, your confidence rises, your direction becomes clearer, and your life transforms. You begin to step into your power because you're no longer carrying the weight of unnecessary negativity. You start moving with a sense of purpose because your environment supports your evolution. And in that environment, where belief, encouragement, and growth are the foundation, you finally become the version of yourself you were always meant to be.